Think running a day spa is all massages and relaxation?
There is nothing relaxing about owning a day spa.
But we're here to help. Serious spa owners know that being in the spa business isn't for the weak.
It takes hard work, planning, and just a bit of luck.
We should know because we've owned a successful day spa for over 20 years. Now we're opening up our playbooks and giving you the business insights to run your day spa rather than letting it run you. This is a Spapreneur Podcast with Lynn Graves and Ramona Rice.
Hello.
Hi.
It's your favorite Spapreneur.
Yes, it is, with more stories and advice and just general fun stuff to know.
Yeah, because we believe that you can have a successful, thriving, and profitable spa. One that does not require you to pull your hair out or need your own spa appointments.
Well, you might still pull your hair out a time or two. You know, the joke is, oh, how nice to work here. It's got to be so stress-free. No, not even. But knowing how to handle that stress is a whole nother story.
This is very true. And one of the things we wanted to talk about today on the show is how do you, as a service provider, as a business owner, set your limits when it comes to client requests?
And in what happens in the room and what they want from you. And we're not even talking about the sexual stuff that we know some people request out there. That's no. We don't do that.
That is a no.
So, but there are other things that they can push your limit on and ask of you, and it makes you uncomfortable. So how do you control that? How do you set the standard in your own room?
Exactly. And so, again, I'm Ramona Rice. This is Lynn Graves. We are the Spapreneurs. We've owned a successful day spa here in our local area for over 20 years. And we have, trust me, there is no client request we have not heard at this point.
None. Trust me on that. Well, if there are, put your comments out there on the Facebook. Let me see if we've addressed it or not.
Oh, my God. We would love to hear some of your client stories. You can email us at hello@spapreneur.com, or you can post it in our Facebook group, and we will gladly talk about them on air because...
But do me a favor and do change the names of the clients as confidentiality.
Protect the guilty.
Yes, we just want to share the stories, not get ourselves into some liability here.
Yeah, please. So I think it comes down to, sometimes control issues between you and your clients are really serious because they want you to do some massage work that maybe, or skincare work that's contraindicated to conditions they have or body types. And then there's others that just seem really minor that you're just like, why, dear client? Why are you insisting on this? And so we're going to talk about all those things today because there are some things that we know as service providers, as massage therapists, as estheticians, as nail techs that you just cannot do.
Or you just don't want to do. It's outside of your comfort level. The guy who wants you to twist them up like a pretzel and stretch them out, and you're all of 5 foot tall, and you know that that's going to wipe you out for the rest of the day. The answer is no. I'm sorry, I can't. Let me suggest somebody else that can.
Absolutely. So, I think it comes down to the first thing you have to remember as a business owner and this is going to ruffle some feathers. So let me explain this because it sometimes ruffles Lynn's feathers when I say this.
I'm not quite sure I'm on the bandwagon on this one, but I'll let you explain.
Okay. The customer, the client is never right, guys. Never.
Okay, repeat that after her. Never.
Never. We all heard the expression, the customer's always right. That's such bull BS. It's total BS, and here's why. The expression the customer is always right implies that the customer is never wrong. That implies that they should always get everything they ask for, and it doesn't matter the cost because the customer is always right. Well, here's the deal. Customer and provider relationship is a relationship. So the customer's job is to get the service or product at the cheapest price possible. That is the customer's job. Your job as the business owner provider is to sell it at the price you need to sell it for. So if the customer's always right, that means you're always wrong and you're never going to get fully what you pay for. So if you have that mentality, it never works out. And you guys have got to understand that. And it's so important. Now, the expectations that we hand out as spa owners, those we need to meet. So we always need to meet the customers or clients' expectations when possible. So if we do an expectation that you get a full 60-minute massage, I better be on that table with hands on my body for 60 minutes.
Okay, I can go there with you on that. I have to agree with you on that. But if you don't go by some of what she said, you're going to get too many of those clients that literally will drain you of everything you own, your energy, your time, your efforts,
money.
Your money. And if that's what you want to do, go for it. But literally, it will drain you dry emotionally.
Absolutely. So there are just some clients that this. They want things. They want you to go deeper, but then they don't want to pay deep tissue prices. They want you to throw in an extra microderm, but they don't want to pay for the microderm.
Right.
Set those limits and say no. It's okay for you guys to say no. This is not for part of my practice, part of my business plan. This is why you have a business plan. So you can go back to what are those expectations? What's that money that I need to make to handle my bills and my lifestyle and things like that? You've got to have those things.
Well, and as a business owner, I give my therapist and my esthetician's nail techs the full right to say, I'm so sorry, I can't. The business owner she doesn't want us doing that. They throw it back on me because I'm a big girl. I put my big girl panties on every day. And I handle it. Do I like to handle that kind of stuff? Absolutely not. But that's the job I took on when I decided to open up a business, to be big about it and not to be emotional about it. So, yeah.
Yeah. So when a client, calls and makes an appointment, particularly a new client, I think it's really important that, and we've talked about this, your front desk is your first line of defense. First off, we've talked about this. You need to, we talk about it on the blog, you need to have somebody at the front desk, not the therapist, not you, but a filter going, okay, it gives like a kind of a buffer zone, if you will, because they're going to probe if they do it the right way. And again, we've got a front desk guide coming out very soon that goes over all of this stuff. But things like, what kind of pressure do they like? What kind of skin do they have? What are they looking for? What are the goals for the session? That, for us at De-Stress, at our day spa, it helps us figure out where they need to go, because they may have heard about a great therapist over here that they think is wonderful, but that therapist may not specialize in the thing they need.
Yeah. What's good for one person is not necessarily good for another. We constantly get, well, I want to see this therapist because Joe Blow down the road sees her and he says she's really good. Well, what do you have going on? Well, these are the things I've got going on, or I just want to relax and just float away. Well, that therapist doesn't do that. So you need to see another therapist, and that's our job to try to guide them. Now, if they're insisting, no, you know how stubborn people can get. I absolutely want to see her. Okay. All right. Okay, we have done our job. We have provided you the answers. We have guided you the best we can, but we will put you with that therapist. And when you come out of the room, you're either going to say, oh my gosh, it was the most wonderful thing in the world, or, oh, she was a little deep for me. We're not going to say that to their face, but told you so. So then we're going to suggest the therapist that we originally wanted to put them with.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is why it's really important for you as a day spa. If you've got a day spa owner, if you have more than one service provider in a department, whether it be massage therapy or a bunch of estheticians, that they all, number one, know each other, that they get along, and that they're comfortable, and you create an atmosphere where they're comfortable referring to other people, because they can't do every client. They're going to want to.
Yeah, they are. But in our place, you'll constantly hear me refer to them as my children. They're all teenagers. I run a day school for teenagers, and they must share their toys. They must. So if Sally can't do the deep tissue, but the guy wanted brutal strength, well, then she needs to tell them about another therapist that does do all of that, and it won't kill them and knock them off for the rest of the day. So they must be willing to share their toys.
Yeah. And so it's really important that, and also too, there is sometimes a client comes in that they have issues that just no matter what you do, you can't help them. You can't fix them.
No, you can't. And as providers, we know what is definitely contraindicated. And we recently had this experience where the guy came in 3 times for a lower leg problem. He's a runner. His lateral side of the lower leg was bothering him tremendously. It was swollen up, but it was a hard swell. It was not inflamed, according to the therapist. She worked on him twice. She finally mentioned something to one of the more senior therapists who had been around a long time. The original therapist has been doing this slightly less than a year. And the senior therapist, immediately said, that sounds like compartment syndrome. You cannot work on that. That's very dangerous. So she came to me and asked my advice. And I said, you need to refer him up the chain of command. And you need to tell him and be firm about it that I cannot work on you if you do not get an orthopedic or a doctor to clear this, because this is dangerous. Well, I've said that to him, and he just doesn't want to go to the doctor. He said he's just going to pay money for a doctor just to tell him, that this is what he has and it's just swollen. He needs to get it worked on. I said, again, you tell him in nice but firm tone, we have an ethical responsibility. we cannot work on you. You get a doctor's clearance. And then when he gets that clearance, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to say, I want you to see the master therapist. She is trained in neuromuscular. She works with injuries every day. And he's probably not going to want to do that because he likes you. He's comfortable with you working on him. So you say to him, while she's working on you, I'm going to be in the room at the same time and I'm going to learn from her. Is that okay? Get his agreement.
Yeah. And again, it goes back to a couple of things. One is if something were to happen to him in the room and it comes back on the therapist, guess what, spa owners? It's going to come back on you.
Yeah, well, there's a reason why we have insurance on us, liability insurance, because those are real situations. But know when to say no. Don't be squeamish. Don't overreact. Go to someone more senior if you haven't had quite a few years of experience, or reach out to the spa community or call someone down the road. I find that therapists as a whole and estheticians are very giving in their advice, and they will share with you what to do in this situation. But always in this type of situation, when you think it's medically minded, tell them to go to the doctor. Obama made sure that we all have insurance. Tell them to go to the doctor.
Well, it all depends on how long that lasts.
Well, okay, that's a whole nother story.
Yeah,
no politics. No politics.
No politics. But yeah, so something like that, contraindicated, other things like, again, if they are going through blood thinners, if they are, going through chemotherapy and if they're pregnant and it's a high risk pregnancy, these are okay things for you to say, I would love to continue working on you. But number one, if you've got somebody in your, like our staff, we have somebody that has specialized and has taken literally every prenatal class in the country.
She's a certified prenatal therapist.
And she specializes in high risk pregnancy. So if we have a high risk pregnancy, we insist that that person goes to see her. One, she's excellent at it. She loves doing it. And guess what? That once that baby's out, they're going to go back to the regular person.
Yeah, and they like the atmosphere of having the freedom to say, "Ooh, I'd like to go to this therapist today or that therapist." So
yeah, don't be afraid to do that. I promise you, that client, if you don't keep necessarily that client's going to remember and go, "Oh yeah, blah 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 was really good too."
Yes, and ours is computerized, so we always know the name. But let me throw in a little side comment here. Also, at one time, we had pictures of all of our therapists on our website. And what we found would happen is we get the guys calling saying, oh, I'd like the young one with the long blonde hair. Oh, I like the little redhead. No. We do not pick our therapists based on looks. So there is a way to get professional shots done.
Yeah,
I'm still little hesitant on that.
No, I firmly believe that every person in a professional setting, and massage therapist, esthetician, your professional setting, you need to get professionally done headshots for a couple of reasons. One, your LinkedIn profile. It's really important to have a really well done headshot because there are professionals that will look up your credentials before they see you. Two, if you decide to try to get any press done, and you should, you're going to need some type of professional headshot, not something shot on your iPhone. Go to a studio, pay the money, get the person that understands Photoshop, and trust me, I love my headshots. And if you go to Spapreneur,
you'll look young forever.
Yeah. Plus, Lynn and I got headshot pictures done before Spapreneur opened, and they're beautiful. Yeah. So it's worth the money and the time to do that. But yeah, other things like we've had people go, I don't want a black person rubbing on me. Well, then you don't need to be at my spa.
No, I that was last Christmas that happened.
We've had a couple of them happen. Yeah.
This guy just blew me away. I prefer Caucasian hands. I'm sorry. Could you say that to me again? And when I turned him down over the phone, he had the audacity to show up in the shop and try to explain to me why he wasn't racist.
I'm not a racist. I'm like, yeah, you're exactly what a racist is. That's what racists do.
I just
get out.
It kind of took my breath away. But by the end of it, I was yelling at him, told him to get out, and then I called the police. I wanted him to know we were very serious about this. There are limits to what you can request. But let's go back to in the room. Let's talk about some of those, naughty boys or the potential naughty boys. And I don't want to go into a lot of stories. We all have them. If you don't have them, well, then you missed half the fun of
that.
Of doing this.
Honestly, you haven't been massaging that long. It's going to happen.
It is going to happen.
I'm sorry. If you have a long enough career, it will happen at least once.
Yeah, it's human nature. But there's a real sign you have a potential bad boy on your table. Now, in our place, we call them weenie whackers. Because by the time they're done with you, you have to have a sense of humor or you're going to cry. It's such an emotional, hard thing to go through sometimes. So when you walk into the room and they have taken that sheet and it is down to within an inch of their groin, there are red flags here, girls and boys. So you immediately take a nurse's motherly tone and go over to him. Take that sheet and go, oh, you must be too chilly to have that on you like that, and pull it up to the top of his chest. And if he doesn't like it and says, oh, I'm hot, your response should be, oh, are you menopausal? Oh, gosh, I've heard that it's really tough, but really, I'm more comfortable if you stay a little bit more draped. If he cannot respect the fact that you're more comfortable with them being more draped, then you have to rethink whether this client's going to be good for you or not, and stay away from the entire hip pelvic region. And if he complains, tell him to take it to the front desk.
Yeah. And if you have to, use that board of nursing. If you're in a state that you are governed under the board of nursing
or medical
or anything, just say my licensure requires that you be there. And if they say, oh, well, my last massage therapist, well, that's great. I like their name and number so I can report them.
Or you're welcome to go back to them.
Exactly. So yeah, you don't have to, but it's
let's support that local economy.
Seriously. Other things like little things though in the room, because sometimes people ask for things and they're just annoying to you as a service provider. Like in our place, we have fans in every room. It is not to help cool things down. It's to provide background noise.
Yes, and it is to be for cooling off, because we do ashiatsu, which means we're up in bars hanging like monkeys, and heat rises. But the fan is not directed onto the clients.
But the clients will lay there, oh my God, I'm so cold, turn off the fan. No, tell them you're going to turn the fan away. I can't tell you how many times I've had to tell therapists, they're like, they hate the fans, but it's like cold, and then they hear the noise. And then I tell them, this is what you say. Have a script, practice these scenarios in meetings.
Yes, absolutely. Put these scenarios in your mind and know how you're going to respond, because if you know, it will come out naturally out of your mouth.
This is, we're in wintertime right now, but like we have table warmers on all of our tables, and some clients are, again, like menopausal women are like, God, no, turn it off. Those little things like that, go ahead and turn those off. If you have a situation where a client, like, I hate spa music when I get massaged, because for me, it reminds me of work. So I like personally to listen to Coldplay or Dave Matthews. That's me. So when I'm in a room, I request that because that's reasonable. And as long as there's not offensive language, just get over it, massage therapist, and play. Because not everyone wants to hear Enya all day long.
Yeah. But there's a balance of what a client should and should not be able to ask you. And what one client asks you, another one can ask you the same thing, and you'll do it for one and not for the other. It's how they ask, what kind of relationship you have with them. So don't feel guilty that you've got to be just vanilla all the way through for everybody. Cater to them, but still have your limits. I had this one client, I've had him for 20 years, love him, but he would float around to different therapists, which obviously I encourage. And he came back onto my table one day and said, blah, blah, started with my feet. And that's just what I want you to do. I start with my feet first. Well, it was the way he put it to me. And I thought, no, don't tell me how to give a massage. You liked me well enough. And that's what I told him. I went, nope, we're going to start with your neck. Nope, this one I'm more comfortable, but I prefer my feet. It's okay. You'll get over it. Nope, starting with your neck. He's still a client, but I knew how to handle him. But sometimes we just get caught in situations.
Just know that once you set an expectation with a client, they will expect it every time. So be careful, because once you give in, that's it. They're like small children. Once you draw that line in the sand, and there's some things, when they step off the line, you push them back. Guess what? If they step over the line, you have to draw a new line. So just be aware of that. Things like this is one of the things for me, as I'm more of the kind of backstage person. Mm-hmm. I can't tell you the most annoying thing that clients, I've even put this on our website, when they request specific rooms. Now, all of our rooms at our spa are beautiful.
They're all lovely, individually decorated and themed.
People have their favorites, but there is a reason why I do not let clients pick their rooms. And the reason is because my job at that front desk is to ensure that those rooms are maximized for my profitability, for the safety of my therapist too, because some have certain different equipment or different table heights and things like that. So guess what? Therapists, rise up with me. Do not allow the clients
No,
to
don't be a
dictate
mutant.
which rooms they're in. Tell them, no, their eyes are going to be closed anyway.
All right. I did have one woman, and it was very legitimate. She said, and she was very kind about it. And we had this room that we had decorated out for Halloween. It already had some birds in it, but these were nice birds. Well, we put some black crows in there also. And when we took Halloween down, I thought to myself, gosh, those crows still look kind of cool. I'll leave them in there. But when the woman called and said, can you not put me in the creepy room with the big black birds? That just creeps me out. And I said, you know what? That's fine. I'll put you in a different room. I'll make sure of that. And I took the crows out.
Yeah, that's different. But I've had people call. This is a great story. So I had this one girl call, really snippy, really whiny, and then she goes, "Oh, I want to be in blah 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 room because it's so beautiful." I could have put her in that room, but she had annoyed me to the point where I was like, "No, I'm sorry, that room's booked." And she goes, "No, I only want to be in that room." I'm like, "I'm sorry, it's booked." It wasn't booked. It wasn't booked at all. It was wide open. I could put her in there. And so she goes, "Well, I want to speak to a manager." Okay, I put her on hold. Waited 2 minutes. And they picked her up. You're the same person. Oh my God, imagine that. Well, I don't want to come in at all. I'm like, okay, here's the number for the day spa down the street. Sometimes you have to do that. It's okay. You know, because guess what? If she was that persnickety about the room, she's going to be that persnickety about everything else. Do you really want persnickety people like that?
Oh.
No, they're way more headache than they're worth. Guess what? We filled all the rooms that day. I wasn't worried about it.
Well, on that note, just this past week, talk about persnickety.
Persnickety client of the week alert.
Oh, Lord help us. We've been very, very busy this week, and we only had a few openings. And this one therapist who always seems to get the more difficult client, she had an opening. The woman called, and she had a foreign accent, and we couldn't understand her completely, but we managed to get through on what it was she wanted. She wanted deep tissue with emphasis on the feet. Wonderful for 60 minutes. Great. She came in, and as she was coming in, several people were going out, and my front desk, understand now, they're young and they're funny. They would never say this in front of a client, but they said, "Oh my gosh, somebody just crop dusted me." Now, I did not know what crop dusted meant. And I said, "What do you mean? Someone just passed gas." I said, "Okay, well, yes, we'll all giggle about it, but you know, that happens." And she's like, "Oh, Lord God, no, somebody crop dusted me. This is awful." Fine. So she calls back, gets the therapist. The therapist comes up front to greet her particular client. And the therapist said, "Hi, my name is blah, blah, and I understand we're going to be doing a 60-minute massage today." The first thing the therapist noticed was this woman would not look her in the eyes. She would not look at her face. And she felt that personally insulting. It's just a little thing with her that is an insulting moment to her. So she said to herself in her little mind, "I will get over this." And the woman said, "Yes, I want a massage." So she proceeded to take her down to the room that was provided for her. And as is taught to every one of my therapists, we do not say, "Get undressed to your comfort level." We are very specific in what we say. Please take off your necklace. Please take off your earrings. Please go ahead, get undressed. I need your bra off also, so I may work on your back. We're specific, so there's no questions left. As this therapist was saying all this, she also turned back the covers and the sheet and indicated your head goes here, your feet go under the cover, over the bolster, and you're going to be looking up at the ceiling. And the woman says, "No, I do not want that." And she said, "But ma'am, you do want a 60-minute deep tissue, right?" She said, "Yes, but I not take off my clothes." Okay. And the therapist said I quickly was revamping in my mind going, "Okay, I can do this. I can do it." And she said, "Okay, I can do compressions on you." And the lady said, "I want mainly my feet done." And she said, "Okay, I can do that. But ma'am, if you could go ahead and take off your necklace so that I can work on your neck." "No, I do not take off my jewelry." Okay, now we've got several strikes going on here, and this therapist is scrambling as hard as she could. But this is the part that really sealed it.
Wait, there's more?
Oh, God, it just gets worse. It gets way worse.
Oh.
So then the woman says, "Are these sheets clean?" And the therapist looked at her and said,
This is the person who crop dusted our lobby.
Yes, we did not know that at the time.
You could tell I took this week off, guys. I've not heard this story. Wait. So the person openly farts in our lobby.
Yes.
Is questioning whether or not our sheets are clean.
Yes.
But she doesn't want to get them dressed anyway.
Right.
So she won't actually touch the sheets.
No.
Through her clothes.
No.
That she's already putrefied by farting.
And her aromatherapy has lingered with her into the room, which happens. We know that BO sometimes can be a problem. We learn to get over that as therapists.
You shouldn't have to get
So the lady said, I want the sheets changed, and I want them changed in front of me. Now, folks,
oh my God.
At this point, I would have looked at the woman and had said, I am so sorry, but I don't think this is going to work out today. I would like to take you back up to the front and you can reschedule for another day. And I would have escorted. I would not have even just looked back to see if she was following me. I would have walked out the door and walked up into the hallway and waited. And if she did not follow me, I would have found someone that was a little bit more senior to me. And I would have had them escort the woman out there because now you're questioning my cleanliness. We have a linen service. They provide to hospitals. The sheets were clean and crisp. But no, the therapist did not do that. She was in a little bit of a quandary, not knowing quite what to do. And she said,
I expect this. Okay, this is not something you can role play for. Lynn,
No.
This is not one of our standard role plays.
Okay,
This is
guys.
not the dude with an erection going, here, rub it.
no, 20 years I've been doing this. This is a first. So she went and got new sheets, came back in, quickly changed them, put the blanket back over the table and said, okay, now if you'd like to slip onto here, I'll cover you up. And the woman said, oh, never mind. I'll just lay on top anyway. I'm not taking off my clothes. So now,
Wait, how much time has this taken? Because
at least 10 minutes.
okay, okay, all right,
Okay.
okay. Oh
so,
my God.
so the therapist is now going, you biatch. You just made me change those sheets, and now you're going to want me to massage you, and you're not even going to get on the table. And oh my God, why are you doing this to me? And why did you come to me? And what does the universe have for me? Because I'm not a happy camper right now.
All in her mind.
All in her mind. And she had all the right to say that in her mind. So the therapist did compression and compressed and compressed and did the best that she could. 80% of your massage is intent. What are you intending for your hands to do? And out of pure love,
I would have just been like, please let me survive this.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, she really was struggling. So she continued to compress. Now, before I complete this story, I want you to understand the offense was committed when the woman said, change the sheets in front of me. That was my line. That's where I would have drawn the line. On this next part, because I feel like I need to finish the story so you understand the entirety of it, this would not have been an offense. This is something that can happen. This is something that we deal with in slightly elderly. We don't know why these things happen. But when the therapist asked the client to turn over, she realized because of the way it was draped that she had on a Depends and that the woman had gone poo-poo in her Depends. And that's where the aromatherapy was coming from.
Oh my God, wait, she didn't fart. She shit her pants.
She poo-pooed. She poo-pooed in her pants. Now,
John, our editor's got to edit all this out.
We do not know why the woman felt that need or there was an incontinence issue. And that is a health issue.
Okay, wait, no. How old was this woman?
We don't know because she was of an ethnicity that is very hard to determine.
Okay. All right. Wait. Okay, so first up, she was in the lobby for enough time, and we have 3 bathrooms in our place.
Yes, but she crop-dusted.
She chose instead to not go to the bathroom, but to use her...
But there may have been a reason. We don't know this. She was wearing a Depends for a reason that we didn't know.
She was cognizant enough to... ask for clean sheets. She couldn't be cognizant enough to go, I need to go boom boom. 2-year-olds tell you, they need to go poop.
I don't know. All right, but still, I would never turn someone away because we've had a 94-year-old in there that we had to go find her some Depends because her Depend had gotten messed up. Okay. But we don't know how old this woman was.
Oh my God.
But it was the icing on the cake. And when the poor therapist got out, she was traumatized.
How much does this woman tip?
$10.
That's it?
Well, that was that's a good average tip. The scary part is she may come back in.
Oh my
God.
God.
This is what I told the front desk. I told the front desk that we won't ban her from this place. Whoever has pissed us off for the day, whichever therapist is on our bottom of our list, gets this woman.
Oh, my God.
Oh, guys, I'm not laughing because she took a poo-poo, but I would have drawn the line at the sheets. So there's a limit.
You know, the sad thing is we have a therapist that I immediately think of that could handle this woman.
Yes, that's who we're going to put her with.
Know who
Yes,
I'm talking
I do know who you're. I know exactly who, and she would be wonderful with her.
Now I'm glad you waited to tell me that story.
Yeah,
Mom.
I wouldn't tell Ramona that all week long because I wanted to get a fresh perspective.
For you, Spapreneur, she waited, and it was so good. Oh my God!
If y'all have a story that tops that, I'd like to hear it because we've got more.
Because we don't believe you.
I've had 2 therapists show up drunk to work. I've had drunk ladies we've had to have taken out and almost tased.
Yeah.
We've had it all. I've had some of my clients' males get undressed, realize I got to pee, get up and walk down the hallway with nothing on. It's like, oh my God.
And we had robes hanging. Like seriously, you cannot.
We're not talking about young boys either. We're talking about 70-year-old men.
And they're never the ones you really want to see.
So anyway, you send us your stories and we'll see how it rates next to our stories.
Again, if you want to reach out to us, it's hello@Spapreneur. Of course, you can reach us on
Draw that line.
You can reach us on our website, spapreneur.com. There you've got like blog articles, different resources. You can download our free guide, 100 things that you can do to improve your spa for under $100.
Just say no.
Like, I think we even have a line that says replace your linens every season.
Oh, my.
Oh my God. All right, so we are edited, by the way, by Audio Edit Solutions. I want to thank John so much because when he hears this, he's going to be like, what in the world is this? I thought the She Podcast girls are crazy. They got nothing on Ramona and her mom. So check him out. He's great. Anyway, Mom, do you have anything else for our Spapreneurs? Because
draw the line, just say no. And love all your clients. And truly, let me emphasize this for you guys that might get offended that take care of parents that are incontinent and all. That's not the humorous part. It was just the icing on the cake for this poor therapist. She should have drawn the line much earlier. And we can discuss this further down the road with when a guy starts sexually advancing, when to cut that off, how to cut that off, how to recognize and not be afraid.
And some of them really do need it cut off. That would solve a
Lorena
lot of
Bobbitt
problems.
comes to mind. She was from our state, you know.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that too. Anyway, again, go to spapreneur.com. And thank you guys so much if you've rated and reviewed our podcast. It does help us with podcast ratings and other people to discover this. And seriously, no one's going to believe that you're listening to a podcast about this. So go ahead and share it with other people. So this is a longer episode, guys. I know it is, but it's worth it. Lots of juicy information in there. And again, we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Need more actionable steps to get your spa headed in the right direction? Head to spapreneur.com where we've got the tools, tricks, and methods to making your spa as successful as it can be. Spapreneur.com.